guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you our geography picks for the 2023-2024 homeschool year. If you want to see the other subjects that we have picked, I have some past videos that have happened over the last couple of weeks. You can definitely go back and watch those. I'll try to remember to link them in the description box so that you can go and see language arts, family subjects, electives, math, all those things. So today we're going to talk about geography, and coming up we'll talk about science. So let's get into geography. If you're new here, we love unit studies. The majority of the videos that you'll find on my channel are all about Gather Round and campfire curriculums because that is what works for us. We've been using them for the past few years because that's the way my son likes to learn. And so we're going to continue doing that even though he's going to be a ninth grader next year. So if you're interested in our high school journey using unit studies, you definitely want to hit that subscribe button and stick around because I will be sharing how we use unit studies throughout high school, how I'm going to track those, the work that we do in the unit studies. That will be shared as well so that he can earn credits to be able to graduate from high school. So let's get into geography. So my plan is to have a world geography credit on his transcript by the time he graduates from high school. And our goal is that over the 4 years, he will earn enough hours to have a world geography credit. If you don't know anything about Gather Round Homeschool, they have a wonderful set of units called Connecting Continents. So they have a unit for every continent in the world, and I love them. We have done some of them previously, but when he was younger and at a different level, we did Asia and we did North America, and we love those. And we'll be revisiting those, but later in his high school career. So what we did is we just decided, okay, what do we want to start with? And then we spread the rest of the continents out over his 4 years of high school. So next year for ninth grade, we are going to use Europe, and I'll show you that in just a minute, and we're going to use Australia and Oceania. So let me show you Europe. Now, usually I have these bound with my ProClick, but I had a little debacle when I tried to use it the night that I printed off Europe. So I actually bought this digitally. You can buy these in print. You can also get them used from the Gather Round's Buy Sell Trade group. But I went ahead and just purchased this digitally because I needed to get him a notebook anyway. So I just purchased the digital download, one student, and that worked great for me. So the thing about these studies from Gather Round is you don't just have to use them as geography. They are unit studies that are meant to be used as your core. They include everything but math. So you could use them for everything in your homeschool. But we're going to use what is inside of here to meet our geography credit. There's also tons of history in these, so that will go towards our world history as well. So this is Europe. I do not have a flip through of this, so this will be coming probably sometime during the summer. I'll do a flip through of the teacher's guide of Europe and of the notebook that we're going to use. So this is the first continent that we're going to be studying, and I'll just quickly show you. You're just going to visit the different countries. You talk about the land and the animals, the food they eat, their transportation, and then you have history and culture. And this is, now I know that Gather Round does not talk about their units in year form anymore, but this was one of the year one units, I'm pretty sure. So it does have a different feel and a different layout to it than the newer ones do, but they're still good. So we'll be using this one first, and I am glad that we're going to because it does have some science in it that is chemistry related, and that will come up in our science video. So we're going to use Europe, and this is his. I just put his in a 3-ring binder this time, and yes, I did choose middle school because the middle school level does go up to age 15, and I do want him to do some of the middle school level for ninth grade. And so the part that's my favorite and the one we work on the most is the notebooking page, and this is where you're going to get most of your geography right here. But then they also have other sheets for science, and then there's copy work, and let's see, there's some editing, and then economy and trade, and then I'll show you the history that is in here, the history focus. Sorry to cover my face, but there is a lot of history in here as well with some extension activities, and I'll talk more about that when I do the flip through. My plan to go along with this, because I do like to make sure that we're reading something, he will be reading this on his own. I know this is way too young for him, but in our house, we do not worry about age limits and age requirements. We read what we enjoy, and we love the Who Was books. So he's going to read this because she is featured in Europe. And then instead of doing a chapter book, now I really wanted to read The Hiding Place. I thought he would really enjoy that, and that's still like in my drawer of things to read next year, and we are going to get to it. But I decided that when we're doing this unit, this is going to be our first unit of the next school year, and I kind of like to ease into our school year instead of just going full force. And so instead of doing a heavy chapter book, I decided that we would do Shakespeare. So we're going to alternate between Shakespeare and fairy tales. So Shakespeare, of course, is mentioned in the Europe unit study, and so is Hans Christian Andersen. So we're just going to alternate. This is the illustrated tales from Shakespeare. This is the modern adaptation from the Charles and Mary Lamb classic. And I thought this was a little more manageable. Not everybody enjoys Shakespeare, but I do think it's important to be introduced to him. So I think we can really get through one of these stories a day. I mean, they're not long in here, and at least it will introduce him to the stories that Shakespeare wrote. So we'll do that one day, and then we'll do fairy tales the other day. So this is just to keep it light and simple when we get started. So like this has Thumbelina, you know, his classic stories that my son has probably heard, but it may not be his version. So we're going to alternate between the two. I'll try to link these two books, but I always recommend first trying to find them used. I picked this up at Goodwill, and I got this at a used bookstore when we went to the mountains. So definitely look for stuff used, and if you absolutely can't find it, I'll put the links if I can find them on Amazon for a reasonable price. But we are going to read those to go with Europe. Now, next, we are going to do, now I'm just going to tell you this. If you've been around my channel for a while, I'm pretty sure that this unit has been in my videos for the year, probably once or twice, because we have tried, I think, 2 times to do this unit. I even have the old student notebook. This is the upper elementary. So when they last had their sale, I had to go and purchase a newer notebook because we just did not get to it. Other things would come out, like Campfire would release something, or Gather Round would release something that we wanted to do that we were more interested in. And so this one got put on the back burner. And I do believe they even have a different cover now, but I don't care enough to go reprint the cover. So the cover just still says Oceania, but the new cover says Australia and Oceania. But we're gonna do it next year. Hold me to it, keep me accountable, make sure that you see it next year. We are gonna do this. This is our second continent to go towards our geography credit. So this is the Oceania Teacher's Guide, and it has, you know, I do have a flip through of this, so I can link that. And I probably have a flip through with the upper elementary book. I may need to come in and do a middle school flip through because we are gonna use the middle school level for next year. But we will be doing this. Hold me to it. My son is also going to read Who Was Steve Irwin, and I know that there is a free unit study to go with this. I always say the name wrong. It's like Peanut Butter Fish Lessons. I'm pretty sure. I want to say Goldfish, but I think it's Peanut Butter Fish Lessons. Has a free unit study to go with this. And then Where is the Great Barrier Reef? He will read those on his own. And then together, we are reading The Lord of the Flies. I read this in high school, and I love this story, and I think my son's gonna love this story. And I have purchased a novel study off of Teachers Pay Teachers so that we can use this as a part of his literature credit. So even though these are our geography units, he's gonna get so many things. He's going to get history. He's going to get science. He's going to get a lot of literature, and we are going to keep up with all of that with the student tracker that Gather Round Homeschool puts out. I actually did a video about what's inside the student tracker, and I'll link that down below, and that is how I'm going to keep up with all of this. And my plan is as I review the units that we finish next year, I'm going to make sure that I show you in the tracker like how I recorded all of that, like how I wrote down the assignment, how we kept up with the time, and how I kept up with the grades, so that you can see how we're doing it, and maybe that will help you when you're planning your high school. So it does sound a little overwhelming to think, how could you use unit studies? Because that's very non-traditional, but we are going to make it happen. We are not the traditional homeschool family. we are taking a different route and we're going to be fine. So this is what we're using for geography. Please let me know down in the comments below what you're using, because I know I like to scroll through people's comments and see what other people are saying, and you may give somebody an idea that they've never heard of. So share with me what you're using for geography. Check out the other videos that are linked in the description. And as always, thank you so much for watching.